Welcome to Business Coordinators. The next case we are looking at is VLNS Temple versus IP Reddy. AIR reference 1967 and Supreme Court is 781. So let's look at the facts of this case. There was a temple named Sri Vedgiri Lakshmi Narsimha Swami Temple situated in Bellore of Taluga Nirsambulla Konda of Andhra Pradesh. There were some trustees of the temple, amongst whom the respondents was one. IP Reddy and two other persons were trustees of that temple for 5 years, whose term of trusteeship was to expire on 1951 January. Although Hindu Religion Endowments Board had appointed new trustees on 19th January 1951, yet due to certain unavoidable reasons, they could not obtain the possession of the temple on 21st July 1951. तो अगला जो केस हम देख रहे हैं वो VLNS टेम्पल वर्सेस IP रेड्डी है. इसमें एक टेम्पल था आंध्र प्रदेश में, उसमें कुछ ट्रस्टीज अपॉइंट किए हुए थे टेम्पल में, और उस टेम्पल के ट्रस्टी थे IP रेड्डी और दो और व्यक्ति जिनको 5 साल के लिए अपॉइंट किया गया था, और उनकी ट्रस्टीशिप एक्सपायर हो गई थी जनवरी 1951 में. तो हिंदू एंडाउमेंट बोर्ड ने अपॉइंट किए थे न्यू ट्रस्टीज 19 जनवरी 1951 को, लेकिन कुछ अनअवॉइडेबल रीजंस के कारण वो उनको पोजीशन नहीं मिला टेम्पल का. सो this matter went to the trial court. The new trustees instituted a suit against the previous trustees, who included the respondents also in the court at Nellore, and in which they prayed for the following reliefs. That the court may defect the respondents and other previous trustees, that they should give the trust proper account of income from the temple as its property and of expenditures since the date of their appointment as trustees, and should entrust the amount in the balance of the new trustees. तो जो नए ट्रस्टीज थे उन्होंने वो ट्रायल कोर्ट गए और उन्होंने मांग की कि भाई जो भी हिसाब किताब है, पैसे का लेन देन है, उसका इंफॉर्मेशन नए ट्रस्टीज को दिया जाए. The second point that they raised was that the court may also order the respondent and the other previous trustees to pay damages after calculating the loss to the temple and its property through maleficence and non-feasance on their part. That the court may order the respondents and previous trustees to hand over all documents, registers, statements, accounts relating to the temple, correct account of the movable property to the new trustees. They failed to comply with the order of the court. Then in alternative decree in which they may be ordered to make payment of the damages may be passed against them. तो ये बोला गया कि भाई इनको जो भी इन्होंने पैसे का लेन देन किया, जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स मेंटेन किए, जो भी रजिस्टर्स मेंटेन किए, वो सारे दें हमें, और अगर कोई कॉम्पनसेशन बनता है तो वो भी हमें दिया जाए. The previous trustees in their reply to the suit denied the charges levied against them and raised the objection that the suit cannot be maintained by the civil court because there are definite provisions regarding the demand for accounts in Chapter 7 of the Indian Trust Act. तो ये जो पुराने ट्रस्टीज थे उन्होंने कहा कि सिविल कोर्ट ये डिसाइड नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं इंडियन ट्रस्ट एक्ट के चैप्टर 7 में दिए गए हैं उसके हिसाब से काम होना चाहिए. The trial court holding the suit maintainable in the civil court passed the order and the decree in favor of the appellant and said that the respondents and the other previous trustees are responsible for maleficence and grievous negligence on their part during the period of their trusteeship. Also ordered the decree that the respondents of their successors should give correct account of for the period of the trusteeships to the new trustees. तो सिविल कोर्ट ने बोला कि हम ऑर्डर पास करेंगे, जो पुराने ट्रस्टीज़ हैं उनको बोला जाए कि भाई आप का जो भी हिसाब किताब बनता है वो आप नए ट्रस्टीज़ को क्लियरली बताइए. Against the decision of the trial court, the respondent alone filed an appeal in the Court of District First Appellate Court when the appeal was pending in the court of the district judge. The appellant Temple amending its plaint requested that the words and the order passed for the payment of damages and the losses caused to the temple be expunged from the plaint. And the correct for the appellant temple endorsed that the prayer for the damages has been relinquished. Hence, the district court admitted the amendment and agreed with the decision of the lower court. It was confirmed that the appeal was admitted. Against the decision of the district judge, the first appeal court responded filed an appeal in the Andhra Pradesh High Court. तो ये जो भी डिसीजन हुआ अभी तक डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में उसको चैलेंज किया गया आंध्र प्रदेश हाई कोर्ट में. The High Court said that the suit for the demand for the accounts cannot be maintained and hence the court admitted the appeal. तो हाई कोर्ट ने कह दिया कि जो अकाउंट्स की डिमांड है उसको मेंटेन नहीं किया जा सकता और अपील एडमिट कर ली. Then the appellant filed an appeal against the decision of the High Court in the Supreme Court. In the appeal, the main argument presented was whether the new trustees can demand from the previous trustees the statement of actions and also the actions of period of their trusteeship without making any grievous negligence as a ground. तो ये प्रश्न पूछा गया क्या जो नए ट्रस्टी आए हैं वो पुराने ट्रस्टीज से कोई इंफॉर्मेशन सीख करते हैं कि विद कर सकते हैं कि नहीं. और इन्होंने वर्ड यूज किया है ग्रीवियस नेग्लिजेंस, कि मतलब कुछ हेरा फेरी तो नहीं हुई कहीं पुराने अकाउंट्स में. In this regard, the Supreme Court said that the trustee cannot be relieved from his office until he presents a full account of the whole management, and the fact that the previous negligence for a trustee or trustees had been made on the ground against him or them or not does not affect their responsibility to prevent the accounts at all. The Supreme Court also said that Section 19 of the Indian Trust Acts are clear provisions regarding the accounts information according to which the trustees is bound to for the fact he should maintain a true and proper account of trust property. He should give the position of the trust property on request of the beneficiaries for all reasons and occasions. In other words, it can be said that the account, according to the provisions of Section 19, the trustees is bound to maintain the true and correct account of the trust property, and the beneficiaries can ask him about the accounts and can examine the accounts if they so like, can ask for copies of the accounts. The trustee is legally expected that he should furnish the beneficiaries the correct information regarding the trust property. The Supreme Court further said that in this case, the previous trustees have admitted, although they have delivered the possessions of the appellate temple in July 1951, even then they could not hand over the whole account of the whole management. The Supreme Court agreed with this decision of the trial court and the court of the district judge and said that the respondent should be present at true and proper account of trust management since they took over the trustees up to the delivery of the positions of the new trustees, that is since 1946 to 1951. The Supreme Court also said that in Section 23 of the Indian Trust Acts, it is clear provision regarding the liability of the trustees of breach of trust and definition of breach of trust given in section 3 of the act, according to which the breach of the duty imposed by law is called breach of trust. And if the directions given by the author of the trust are not compiled by the trustees, it would also be known as breach of trust. And in the case of breach of trust, the trustee would be responsible for the payment and the damages for the loss caused due to his mistake. But there is one exception only: when such a loss is caused or has occurred due to the breach of belief or found of the beneficiary. The Supreme Court said that sections 72 of the Indian Trust Acts, those various ways in which the trustee can be discharged or get rid of the trust are mentioned in the state and or state mentioned therein only. The trustee can be discharged, otherwise not. The new appointment of the trustees and the previous trustees is discharged. Such a new trustee can either be appointed by the court by using the enactment powers. On behalf of the respondent, it was argued before the Supreme Court was not maintainable under the section 93 of the Indian Trust Act, and more arguments were also presented that this stuff was non-maintainable due to the availability of the procedure mentioned in separate regarding the accounts and surrender in Chapter 7 of Indian Trust Act. Regarding the arguments, the Supreme Court decided that even in presence of section 93 of the Act, this suit is maintainable and there is no hindrance and can be covered in the right of receiving the true and proper account due to there being a separate chapter in this regard. Hence, on the basis of the above facts, the Supreme Court, not agreeing with the decision of the High Court, holding the decision of the lower court, admitted the appeal. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बेसिकली हाई कोर्ट की डिसीजन नहीं मानी और अपील एडमिट कर ली. Principles of the laws laid down. The new trustees can demand from the previous trustees the true and correct account of income and expenditure drawing from the period of their trusteeship. तो अगर कोई नया ट्रस्टी आता है टेम्पल का, वो पुरानी ट्रस्टी से पूरा हिसाब किताब, कितना खर्च हुआ, पूरे अकाउंट्स, सबको सारी डिटेल्स मांग सकता है. The trustee would not be treated as relieved from his office until he presents the true and proper accounts of the period for his trusteeship, whether he has been charged with gross negligence or not. No hindrance is caused in right of receiving the account due to the fact that the gross negligence has not been made a ground for it. तो नेग्लिजेंस हो चाहे ना हो, अगर कोई ट्रस्टी ऑफिस में था और कोई नया ट्रस्टी आया, उसको पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन प्रॉपरली हैंड ओवर करनी पड़ेगी, और जब तक वो पूरी प्रॉपर इंफॉर्मेशन हैंड ओवर नहीं कर देता तब तक उसको रिलीव्ड फ्रॉम हिज ऑफिस कंसिडर नहीं किया जा सकता है. I hope you like this video. We will be coming up with more videos in future. Please do subscribe to our channel and keep watching. Thank you.